Hey guys, it is NCS Fan 001 here for Destiny Cookbook Recipes, episode number 14. It has been a little while since I have done one. I have been very busy, and sometimes it's just hard to find all the ingredients you need. So today's recipe is marshmallows. Sometimes the traveler reminds me of a big marshmallow floating in the sky. I'm all too aware it wouldn't taste like one, but the thought can be comforting. I've heard, at least, that it smells faintly of vanilla on the inside. Well, it's actually funny because there is a recipe based on the Traveler later in the cookbook. It's Traveler donut holes or something. So this is a medium difficulty recipe that takes 30 minutes of prep, 30 minutes of cook. It yields one 9 by 13 inch sheet of marshmallow, and it's used actually in multiple recipes. It's not just used in the s'mores bark, it's used in another one. So I'm actually making this now because both the recipes it's used in are fairly Christmassy. This is going to require 2.5 tablespoons of unflavored gelatin, 1 cup of cold water divided, 2 cups of sugar, a half cup of light corn syrup, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and confectioner's sugar. So our first step is to combine the gelatin and half a cup of cold water inside of a bowl. So, easy enough. Here's half a cup of cold water. I'm going to pour it in the bowl. The bowl might not be particularly visible. And then we need 2.5 tablespoons of unflavored gelatin. This gelatin's been sitting in here for forever at this point. I assume it doesn't go bad, but hopefully it doesn't. And 2.5 tablespoons. Each of these packets is about 1 tablespoon. Good thing I have extras. It's 1. Two and a half. We're going to combine that, and we're supposed to have a mixer with a whisk attachment. At the time this is being recorded, I do not have a mixer, but thankfully I do have a whisk, so we'll be able to do this the old-fashioned way. So, next up, we need to combine the other half cup of water with the sugar, corn syrup, and salt. So we're going to combine these in a medium-sized pot, and I need to go ahead and turn on the stove. So we've got our other half cup of cold water. Going to leave this thing out for mixing later. Or not mixing. So we need to combine that with the 2 cups of sugar. Reminds me of the old recipes, the ones with the, crap, what was it? It was the sodas, that's what it was. Then we need half a cup of the light corn syrup, which was surprisingly easy to find. I thought this one might be a little bit tricky. Alright, so we've got half a cup of light corn syrup. And finally, a simple 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So let me go ahead and pour that. Good thing I have a 1/4 teaspoon. I mean, it's basically just like a little more than a pinch of salt, so it's not that much. Put that in. Okay, so now we're going to start stirring this together, and then I'm going to put it on the stove where it must get up to about 240 degrees Fahrenheit. So I do have a thermometer. It's not a candy thermometer like the book suggests, but hopefully it will get the job done. Alright guys, that took quite a bit of time, but I got it up to right around 240 degrees Fahrenheit. So now we need to slowly pour the hot sugar mixture into the stand mixer while it's running. And you're supposed to turn the mixer to high and mix for 10 to 15 minutes or until it thickens. But obviously I'm not going to be able to do that. So we're just going to have to sort of wing it using my own whisking techniques of probably not doing things correctly. I'm actually getting a stand mixer for Christmas. Well, not a stand mixer, but I'm getting a mixer for Christmas. So something like this might be more feasible in the future. But for now, we're just going to have to do it this way and hope for the best. don't worry, for the other two recipes, if this one comes out badly, I did buy some marshmallows, like just some standard marshmallows, just in case this one screwed up. Because at first I didn't realize I needed a mixer, or that it wants me to use a mixer. So we're just going to whisk this for about 10 to 15 minutes until it thickens up. It says the mixture should become very fluffy and somewhat stiff by the time that it's done. Near the end, we add in our 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So I will be back with you guys once this starts to thicken up. Okay guys, so I know the light isn't great right here, but I am pleasantly surprised with how this looks. It's thickened up very well, it's kind of fluffy, and it looks exactly like the marshmallow cream sauce that you might get on like an ice cream sundae or something. So I must have done it pretty close to what the recipe said. So now that this mixture is looking really close to, like I said, marshmallow cream, we now have to add in 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Let's see. Yeah, this one feels like it's a little bit lighter, so this one might be a little more heavily used. So here's 1 teaspoon. Yeah, the way it fell onto this, it's definitely thickened up, which is a good thing. And 1.5 teaspoons. Okay, so the reason that I have this other thing of sugar out is because our next step is to prep a 9x13 baking tray. We're not actually going to bake this or anything, but we have to prep a tray, and we're supposed to coat it with some kind of zero stick, or I don't know why I said zero stick, non-stick spray, which I already did, as well as some confectioner's sugar. Now, the Food Lion did not have actual confectioner's sugar. It did have powdered sugar though, which is similar. It's pretty close. It's different from like regular sugar. So, did the best I can with what I have. Obviously there are ongoing shortages, so gotta do what I gotta do. Gotta do it the best way I can. I don't care if there's extra sugar, because that just, if it's like a lot more sugar than it needs to be, because it's just sugar. This is already, marshmallows are already extremely unhealthy for you, so honestly, whatever. Alright, so that's done. Now we just need to transfer the sugar mixture onto the pan and spread it around evenly. And then sprinkle the top with additional confectioner's sugar. Like I said though, the mixture came out pretty well. Like, it looks like if you put a marshmallow melted cream on an ice cream sundae or something. So I must have done the recipe pretty accurately. As best I can do with not having a stand mixer, or any kind of mixer for that matter. So, as an unprofessional chef, I at least have to try this out. It tastes like marshmallow. It actually does, so I must not have screwed up that badly if I screwed up at all. So now we're supposed to sprinkle the top with additional confectioner's sugar, and then we're going to let this thing rest uncovered overnight. It doesn't say it has to be refrigerated or anything, so we're just going to leave it out on the counter here overnight. I'm very pleasantly surprised as to how this has come out so far. I think this is actually probably going to come out well. So I will be back here tomorrow, guys, and we will cut this up and sample it. Alright guys, the marshmallows have now been able to rest uncovered overnight in their tray, so I've now dumped it out here onto my cutting board, and I gotta admit, it is looking pretty good. So, now I need to use an oiled knife to cut the marshmallows to my desired size, then use a sieve, or sieve, however it's pronounced, I'm probably dumb on that, filled with additional confectioner's sugar to evenly dust each side again so the marshmallows don't stick together. I don't have a sieve, so yeah, we're just gonna cut. This is the knife I got for my birthday. It's a Better Chef's knife. I'm sure I'm not doing this correctly. Now, this actually came out quite well, though. I'm very happy with how these came out. I think they actually look pretty good. Or at least the sheet does. And this thing cuts very well, so I did oil it up with some vegetable oil, if that's what it actually meant. If it's not, well then, it's also me. These videos are not particularly meant to be educational on the arts of cooking. These are more meant for your entertainment than anything else. But yeah, they feel like chunks of marshmallow, so they're not perfect. The consistency isn't exactly right, or the size, but for a first time, I think it came out pretty well. So now we've got it into slices here. So I am going to begin the long process of cutting this into many smaller marshmallows. I'm not going to cut all of them in the video because I have other videos I need to record as well, but we're absolutely going to try these today, so don't worry. Alright guys, so this is what they look like, little mini marshmallows. I know the light isn't great here, but they look and feel just like marshmallows, so we are going to give these a try. That tastes exactly like a marshmallow. Wow. That tastes almost identical to a normal marshmallow. I was worried that I didn't do this recipe quite right, but that is pretty darn close to a normal marshmallow, and especially for my first time ever making them. It's kind of chewier, I think. Maybe a little bit chewier than a normal marshmallow. But the taste is spot on. So I'm going to finish chopping up the rest of these marshmallows, and we can put them in an airtight container for up to 2 weeks. So I'm going to do that for the next 2 recipes that both require marshmallows. I did buy some marshmallows at the store just in case these came out badly, but I think I'm actually going to be able to use these for those next 2 recipes. These came out shockingly well. So I'm going to dust these with more confectioner's sugar and chop them up and seal them away. And I will see you guys back here very soon for the next recipe video. So please like, favorite, share, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell if you haven't already. The next 2 recipes will both use these marshmallows. So see you guys then.